Why do you fear a world you are actively projecting through the silent theater of your own mind? You wake up with a cold weight in your chest that no external achievement seems to resolve. This heaviness isn't a medical condition, but the friction of a soul trying to breathe in an airtight room. You have spent years adjusting the furniture of your life, while the foundation beneath you is made of smoke. Every morning, the same loop of worry greets you before your eyes even open to the light. You feel the floor shifting, yet you desperately try to stand still in a reality that has already dissolved. This pattern of exhaustion and search is the only thing you have learned to call home. Your hands tremble slightly as you reach for a future that always stays 2 steps ahead of your grasp. I have seen this cycle repeat in thousands of souls before they finally stop to listen to the silence. The emissaries of the crystalline spectrum observe that your species is addicted to the very cycles that drain your vital essence. You look at the news and feel a surge of panic, as if the chaos were a separate entity. But the chaos is merely the static generated by millions of minds refusing to look inward. You are currently entangled in a grid of frequency that relies on your constant, unexamined reaction. This is the recognizable pattern of a consciousness operating in survival mode. While dreaming of liberation, you crave a rescue, a sign from the stars, or a sudden change in the global economy. Yet, every time a door opens, you retreat into the safety of your familiar limitations and sorrows. You have been taught that power is found in control, but control is just a sophisticated form of fear. The truth is that your struggle is not a sign of failure, but a sign of your alignment with a lie. The world is not happening to you. It is happening because of the quality of your attention. You are a biological node in a vast unfolding pattern that is finally reaching its critical point. This pattern demands that you stop pretending you are a victim of circumstances you helped to architect. The air in your room feels dense today because the old masks no longer fit your emerging face. You sense a high-pitched hum in your ears, a frequency that refuses to be ignored or explained. It is a sober call to dismantle the structures of thought that have kept you in a state of decay. You are not witnessing the end of the world, but the end of your ability to ignore yourself. The pressure you feel is the universe's way of asking you to finally take the seat of the creator. Most of your efforts to change your life have been nothing more than rearranging the chains. You have lived as a ghost in your own house, watching the walls close in while waiting for permission. This permission will never arrive because you are the one who issued the original decree of restriction. The pattern is now unfolding with such intensity that the old deceptions are melting before your eyes. You see the glitch in the mirror, the moment where your reflection doesn't quite match your internal state. It is uncomfortable to realize that your pain has been your most loyal and predictable companion. You defend your misery as if it were a treasure, afraid of the vacuum that true freedom creates. Notice the physical tension in your jaw as you contemplate this revelation. This tightness is the residue of 1,000 no's you have said to your own expansion and light. You are currently standing at the threshold of a shift that requires the death of your ego's history. Every micro-behavior of doubt is a thread that keeps you tethered to a dying holographic matrix. You think you are being realistic when you focus on your lack, but you are just being obedient. The pattern requires your active participation to either dissolve or solidify into a new and higher octave. You are a crucial part of this unfolding, a living variable in an equation of absolute frequency and grace. Stop looking for a master when the master is the one currently listening to these words in silence. The struggle ends the moment you realize it was a performance for an audience that never existed. Your marrow is vibrating with the recognition that the game of separation is finally coming to a close. The logic of the old world is a rusted gear that can no longer turn the wheel of your destiny. You feel a surge of heat in your solar plexus, a fire that burns away the debris of your past. This isn't a motivational speech. It is a clinical observation of your current biological recalibration process. You are being rewired to hold a charge of consciousness that your ancestors only whispered about in secret. The pattern is not a threat, but a map that is finally becoming visible through your own skin. You have spent lifetimes preparing for this specific moment of absolute, unblinking clarity and truth. The noise of the world is getting louder because its silence was always the thing you feared the most. There is a metallic taste at the back of your throat as the very air in your room begins to thicken. This is the weight of a reality that has outgrown its own skin. Within the next few minutes, the logic you use to navigate your day will be challenged at its core. You are not a spectator of this shift. You are the very ground upon which it is being built. The emissaries are not coming to save you, but to witness you saving yourself. And the problem is that you are already interpreting this entire pattern through the same lens of fear that built your current cage. This isn't a phenomenon happening in the sky. It is a structural shift in your internal perception. What many call energy is actually a specific pattern of your mind and attention. If you do not recognize that the place of your power is internal, you will continue to react automatically to shadows. The acceleration you feel is simply your mind trying to bridge the gap between who you are and who you think you should be. To move forward, you must first acknowledge that your world is a direct reflection of your current internal governance. Your consciousness is the only territory where the real battle for sovereignty is being fought right now. Have you ever felt like something deep inside you just doesn't fit into this world anymore? It's as if your soul knew a truth that your mind hasn't found a name for yet. It isn't just stress, and it isn't just a bad week. It's a signal. What is happening right now on a cosmic level explains that strange pressure you've been feeling in your chest. There is a massive game being played in layers that most people never even notice. This game involves your very consciousness and the vibrational frequency you carry every day. Think about it. What if all that strangeness and that silent certainty that there must be more was actually proof? Proof that you aren't just watching this story unfold, but that you are a central part of it. This is exactly why I prepared the great spiritual game behind your consciousness. This book isn't just another digital download. It is a map I made for those who have finally woken up enough to know that reality is deeper than what we were taught. It's for those who are done with shallow answers and are ready to understand the hidden rules of perception. You can find the link to download this book in the first pinned comment right below this video. But I have to be direct with you. This knowledge doesn't always stay available. There are narratives in this world that many want to keep exactly as they are, and there have been attempts to silence this knowledge before. Don't wait for a better time to look into this. I have prepared this digital book specifically for you, as a structured guide to navigate this exact frequency shift. The right moment is this very second, because you didn't click on this video by mistake. Download it now, read with an open heart, and if something inside you recognizes the truth on those pages, let me know. Write a single word in the comments, desperto. That is the signal that your consciousness was already prepared for this, even before you realized it. Delaying this step often means returning to the same cycles of confusion, losing the clarity that brought you to this very moment. Because the truth is, the moment you step away from this transmission, your old world is waiting to pull you back. It doesn't use force. It uses the silent, comfortable gravity of your own daily habits to dim your emerging light. You call it being practical when you wake up and immediately scan your life for potential problems to solve. But this scanning is actually a micro-behavior of survival that keeps your frequency locked in a state of defense. Notice the way you check your phone before you even acknowledge the weight of your own breath in the morning. That tiny automatic movement is a surrender of your creative authority to a collective stream of noise and fear. You tell yourself you are staying informed, but you are actually rehearsing your own stagnation in a collapsing matrix. This is the unseen sabotage. It never looks like an enemy. It looks like a necessary part of your daily survival. It feels like a protective layer of skin, yet it is actually a cage made of ancestral echoes and scripts. Do you feel that slight tightness in your throat when you contemplate a life without these familiar, heavy worries? That tension is the signature of a program that fears its own obsolescence within your expanding, radiant consciousness. You are being rewired, but the old wiring still tries to spark whenever you encounter a moment of pure silence. This silence is the most dangerous territory for the ego because it contains no stories of lack or struggle. To maintain its dominance, your mind manufactures logical reasons to return to the drama of the horizontal, heavy world. It tells you that you are being irresponsible if you don't worry about the future or regret the failed past. It offers you the care of overthinking, disguising a mental prison as a sanctuary of common sense and safety. But real safety is not found in the management of shadows. It is found in the stability of your center. Look at your hands right now and realize they carry the potential to rewrite the entire script of your life. Yet, you use them to click on the same distractions, reinforcing the very pattern you claim you want to leave. This is not a moral failure. It is a mechanical process of frequency that most people ignore until it's late. I have often watched souls walk right up to the gate of freedom and turn back because the silence was loud. You seek validation for your pain because without it, you wouldn't know who is standing in the mirror today. This addiction to your own suffering is the strongest thread in the web that currently holds you in place. You think you are being careful when you doubt a sudden opportunity, but you are only being obedient to lack. This care is a mask for a deep-seated fear of your own power to transform reality with a single thought. Notice the slight coldness on your neck right now, a physical reminder that the air is changing around you. The Andromedan perspective reveals that your mind acts as a filter, allowing only the familiar frequencies to take root. To change the world, you must first stop the micro-betrayals you commit against your own peace every single hour. You argue with people who don't exist in your presence, wasting your vital energy on imaginary battles and old ghosts. Every time you justify your current limitation, you are giving the Matrix a fresh blueprint to build your tomorrow. You are practicing the vibration of a victim while praying for the results of a sovereign and powerful master. This internal division is the hidden break that keeps your life feeling like a series of almost and soon. Stop for a moment and feel the pulse in your own fingertips as they touch the surface of your life. There is a structural architecture to this manipulation that I have mapped out for your absolute and total liberation. The logic you use to navigate your day is designed to keep you within the lines of a dying age. You wait for external evidence to feel successful, not realizing that evidence is the final shadow of an internal state. By waiting for the world to change first, you are handing your scepter to the very system you despise. This is the ultimate glitch, the creator waiting for the creation to give it permission to be powerful and whole. You feel a sudden surge of heat in your solar plexus when you realize the extent of this deception. That heat is your true essence trying to burn through the layers of not enough and not yet you carry. The mind will try to distract you with 1,000 what-ifs as soon as this transmission finally comes to end. It will tell you that this is just another video, another interesting theory to be filed away and quickly forgotten. This is how the sabotage maintains its grip, by making the extraordinary feel ordinary and safe for your small ego. But the humming in your bones tells a different story, one of a resonance that can no longer be silenced. You are seeing the strings of the puppet show, and once seen, the magic of the lie begins to fade. Every reaction you have today is an opportunity to choose a new frequency or stay in the old heavy loop. You are not a spectator of this shift. You are the laboratory where the new reality is currently being tested. Notice if you are already looking for an excuse to stop listening and return to your familiar, digital noise. That impulse is the sound of the prison door trying to close before you can fully step into the sun. The logic of survival is a rusted gear that no longer fits the crystalline light you are now receiving. You are being asked to trade your certain misery for an uncertain glory, and the mind is terrified of trade. It prefers the weight of the chains it knows to the weightlessness of a sky it has never actually touched. But you didn't arrive here to remain a prisoner of your own biology or your own ancestral painful history. You arrived to be the bridge where the infinite potential of Andromeda meets the dense reality of the Earth. This requires you to stop being reasonable and start being radiant, even when the world around you stays dark. Your stability is the only weapon you have against the chaos of a matrix that is currently tearing itself apart. Do you feel the space behind your eyes expanding as you let go of the need to be right? That expansion is the silence of your true nature, the part of you that has never been touched by lack. The unseen sabotage is simply the act of forgetting who you are in the face of a loud emergency. You have been trained to respond to fire with fire, not realizing that you are the water that can extinguish. The pattern you are part of is moving toward a peak where the old masks will simply dissolve and fall. If you cling to the mask, the dissolution will feel like a loss of your own skin and your soul. If you let go now, you will find that you have always been the light behind the painted, false face. This realization is the first step toward a sovereignty that does not depend on the bank or the government. You are reclaiming the territory of your own consciousness, one micro-decision at a time, every single hour of today. The shift is not happening to you, it is happening through you, and your cooperation is the final key. Stop waiting for a sign in the sky and look at the way you handle your own morning coffee. Is it a ritual of presence or a mechanical act of numbing yourself for the long day of struggle? Every mundane action is a vibrational decree that the universe is forced to obey with surgical and absolute precision. You are currently manifesting a world of later because you are afraid of the responsibility of a world of now. The now requires you to be whole without a reason, a state that the mind finds absolutely illogical and wrong. Yet it is the only state that the holographic grid recognizes as an authentic and powerful command for change. I have prepared a structure for this transition that goes far beyond the words I can speak here today. The hidden sabotage is the final layer of the old world, the one that lives in your own nervous system. You can feel it as a faint trembling in your hands when you contemplate the end of your old life. That trembling is not fear, it is the friction of your light body trying to synchronize with your physical vessel. You have been living at half capacity, afraid to blow the fuses of an identity that was built for smallness. Now, the voltage is increasing, and you must decide if you will upgrade your wires or let them burn. Upgrading requires you to see your microbehaviors for what they truly are, chains disguised as necessary and safe habits. When you stop reacting to the static, the music of your true destiny finally begins to play in the background. You are being rewired for a world where your thoughts become things with a speed that will soon terrify you. This is why the dismantling of your sabotage is not an optional exercise, but a requirement for your very survival. You are entering a zone of absolute reflection, where your every doubt will manifest as a wall in your path. The emissaries remind you that the only enemy you have ever faced is the one who lives within you. This enemy is just a collection of survival programs that believe the war is still going on in the dark. It is time to tell these programs that the sun has risen and their service is no longer required or wanted. Feel the release in your shoulders as you give yourself permission to stop fighting a battle that is already over. The matrix is falling, but you are rising, and the two movements are part of the same divine unfolding pattern. You seek a sense of belonging, yet you have always belonged to the stars that shine in your very blood. The pattern is unfolding, and your piece of the puzzle is the quality of your own internal silent attention. Notice the subtle shift in the lighting of your room as you settle into this deeper, quiet level of truth. You are seeing through the veil, and the veil is nothing more than your own habitual way of looking away. This transmission is an anchor for your spirit in a world that is currently losing its own heavy, physical mind. We are moving from the observation of the trap to the total reorganization of the one who was caught. The sabotage ends when the identity that needed it finally chooses to step out of the shadows for good. You are not a victim of a system. You are a creator who has been playing a role too small. It is time to drop the script of the common man and inhabit the presence of the multidimensional, radiant being. The logic of your old world is dying, but the logic of your true origin is finally being born today. Look at your life and see the patterns of lack as the final echoes of a ghost that has left. You are not your name or your history, but the one who finally decides to stop looking back forever. To stop looking back is to finally confront the one who is actually standing in the present. Your root identity is not a philosophical concept you ponder during a weekend retreat. It is the raw and undeniable feeling of what you find completely normal when no one is watching. Identity is the way your body instinctively responds to the sound of your own voice in the morning. It is the silent assumption that things will either work out or fall apart as they always have. Most people confuse their personality with their identity, yet one is a mask and the other is the core. Your personality is what you show the world, but your identity is what the universe mirrors back to you. Think about the way you walk through your own house in the middle of a dark, quiet night. You don't need a map because the structure of your home is integrated into your very sense of self. This is how identity works within the grand hologram. It is the blueprint that requires no conscious effort. The reality you inhabit is a perfect match for the person you consider yourself to be in secret. If you see yourself as a survivor, the universe will provide an endless supply of things to survive. This isn't a punishment, but a manifestation of the law of coherence that governs all existence. You cannot broadcast the frequency of a victim and expect the results of a sovereign master. The problem for most seekers is the massive and painful gap between their desires and their recognition. To desire something is to confirm to the field that you do not currently possess it. Every time you say "I want," you are shouting "I lack" into the vast and responsive emptiness. The field only hears the lack because that is the actual root frequency of your desperate wanting. Have you noticed how the things you chase seem to run faster as you increase your effort? Recognition is the opposite of chasing. It is the quiet internal sigh of already having. It is the neutral and stable feeling that a certain level of life is simply your factual reality. You don't manifest the air you breathe. You recognize it is there, and you simply allow it in. Your manifestation journey must move from the frantic energy of a beggar to the calm of an owner. This shift requires a total dismantling of the identity that found safety in the cycle of struggle. You are currently holding onto a version of you that is fundamentally incompatible with the wealth you seek. The mind loves to seek because seeking keeps the old identity busy and safely away from actual change. Stop for a second and notice if you are still waiting for a special feeling to arrive. The waiting is the signal that you haven't yet accepted the truth of your own creative authority. Your automatic reactions are the most honest mirrors of the scripts currently running in your dark marrow. When a challenge appears, do you collapse into worry, or do you remain as the silent observer? This reaction is not a choice you make in the moment, but a symptom of your root. You have become so familiar with the weight of lack that your nervous system considers it safe. Breaking this coherence feels like a threat to your survival because the ego hates the unknown. It would rather stay in a familiar hell than risk walking into an unfamiliar and radiant heaven. This is the point where most souls turn back and return to their comfortable and small lives. You have stayed here because you are ready to stop pretending that the cage is your home. The Andromedan perspective reminds us that your true identity is a frequency of absolute and total wholeness. This shift in recognition is not something that happens by accident or through occasional brief effort. It requires a structural foundation that allows your consciousness to stay firm when the world starts to shake. You have realized that this single transmission cannot provide the entire architecture needed for your total liberation. There is a weight of understanding that you still need to integrate into your daily physical walk. Do not lose the momentum of this clarity by returning to the same cycles of confusion today. I invite you to take the next necessary step and download the digital book prepared specifically for you. I have organized this material to be your guide, the great spiritual game behind your consciousness. This material provides the structural framework you need to finally stop the automated sabotage of your life. Simply watching a few videos will never be enough to rewrite the deep identity programs you carry. You need the complete architecture found in those pages to navigate the transition that is already moving. If you ignore this impulse now, you risk falling back into the same patterns of delay and doubt. You can find the link to download the book directly in the first pinned comment below this video. Accept this gift as the map it was intended to be, and read with total and unyielding intent. This is not a choice for the future, but a decision for the person you are becoming now. Download the great spiritual game behind your consciousness today, and start playing according to your own rules. If your heart recognizes the truth on those pages, write a single word in the comments: Desperto. Let this be the signal that your consciousness was ready before your mind even caught the scent. Now feel the space around your body as if it were an extension of your own skin. Every change in your internal state ripples through this space, changing the geometry of your entire day. You are not a victim of the economy, the weather, or the moods of those around you. You are the one who decides what is allowed to take root in the fertile soil of your soul. The old identity was a collector of grievances, but the new identity is a steward of frequency. Notice how the people in your life react when you stop participating in their habitual dramas. They are used to the version of you that was easily triggered and perpetually searching for answers. By staying centered in your recognition, you are effectively teaching the universe how to treat you. This is not about positive thinking. It is about the absolute refusal to inhabit a frequency of lack. Manifestation is merely the side effect of a person who has finally stopped lying to themselves. When you are coherent, the mirror of reality has no choice but to show you the truth. Stop asking the mirror to change first and start changing the one who is looking into it. You feel a strange tingling in your hands, a sign that your light body is synchronizing. This physical sensation is the evidence of an identity shift that is moving from thought to bone. You are becoming a master of your own resonance, a sovereign being who answers to no one else. The matrix survives on your internal division, but it cannot survive a heart that is truly one. Every choice you make to stay in recognition is a victory over the old, heavy scripts of survival. The Andromedan emissaries observe that you are finally beginning to breathe like a creator, not a beggar. This breath is the primary tool for stabilizing the new earth frequency within your own physical vessel. Do not let the small noise of the day pull you back into the horizontal, heavy world. You are the vertical pillar of light around which the entire hologram must eventually and surely align. Recognition is a quiet power that does not need to shout to be felt by the world. It is the calm certainty that you have already arrived at the destination you were once chasing. When you move with this certainty, doors open before you even realize they were closed or locked. This is the grace of the master, the one who has stopped fighting the reflections on the wall. You see the patterns of lack for what they are, echoes of a ghost that no longer speaks. The 48-hour window is a compression of your history into a single moment of absolute and total decision. You are deciding which world you will inhabit for the next cycle of your infinite, eternal journey. If you choose the route of wholeness, the branches of your life will bloom with effortless and radiant beauty. This isn't a promise of a future reward, but a description of a current, geometric, and unavoidable fact. Your identity is the magnet, and the quality of your life is the iron filings following its lead. Every second of presence is a sacred act of rewriting the code of your own multidimensional experience. You feel a sudden surge of heat in your heart center, a sign of your soul's agreement. The struggle was just a habit you kept alive to avoid the intensity of your own light. Now that you have seen the light, the habit of the shadow no longer feels comfortable or safe. You are learning to walk through the world without letting the world get inside your quiet mind. This is the posture of the sovereign, the one who governs their own internal territory with love. Manifestation is no longer a miracle you hope for, but a conversation you have with the field. You speak through your state of being, and the field responds through the events of your day. The shift is complete the moment you stop waiting for the evidence to prove your own worth. You are worthy because you exist as a node of the infinite consciousness currently waking up here. The old deceptions have lost their teeth, and the old fears have lost their heavy, dark voice. You are standing at the center of your own universe, ready to speak the word of life. Look at the space in front of you and realize it is a blank canvas for your recognition. What you recognize as possible for you is what will become the solid ground of your tomorrow. Let us move into the final depth of this transmission and seal your new and radiant authority. We have identified the root, but now we must apply a specific tool of perception to stabilize it. Enter the Andromedan prism of coherence. This is not a metaphor. It is a functional lens through which the geometry of your life becomes visible. Most people see their problems as obstacles to be fought or removed. The prism reveals they are merely points of friction caused by a divided internal broadcast. Stop for a second. Notice the slight, high-pitched tone humming in your left ear right now. That is the sound of the field reacting to the focus of your own consciousness. You have been taught that manifestation is an act of addition. You think you need more rituals, more affirmations, or more external validation. Listen closely. It is entirely about the radical cessation of internal contradiction. You pray for peace while your body is currently rehearsing the next argument in your mind. You ask for wealth while your fingers tighten with fear as you touch the paper of a bill. This split signal is what the hologram interprets as your final actual command. The prism shows that a divided heart creates a jagged, unusable reality. Look closer. Every doubt is a counter-instruction to the very manifestation you claim to desire. You are currently canceling your own light before it can even touch the material plane. Imagine a beam of light hitting a cracked crystal and scattering in 1,000 useless directions. That is the current state of a mind that is still addicted to the what-if of failure. Your work is not to fix the world, but to unify the broadcast of your own being. This requires a precision of attention that most people find absolutely exhausting. They prefer the intensity of a spiritual high to the sober stability of a master. Intensity is a scream. Stability is the silence that moves the entire ocean. You have spent lifetimes chasing the fire, but it is the hearth that sustains the life. Stability is the ability to remain unmoved when the mirror still shows the old, dying reflection. It is the certain neutrality of a gardener who knows the seed is already growing underground. If you are still here, it is because you have outgrown the need for emotional fireworks. This is the point of no return. Not everyone can hold this level of transparency with themselves. Most will retreat to the comfort of their grievances because the prism feels too sharp for their ego. If this makes sense to you, you have already moved beyond the average frequency of the collective. The majority will continue to scratch at the reflection, wondering why the world stays broken. But you are learning to hold the dial of your frequency with a steady, unyielding hand. The Andromedan perspective reorganizes your logic into a singular, coherent line of force. You are not a seeker trying to find a path. You are the architect laying the foundation. Stop trying to manifest and start being the one for whom that result is a fact. Feel the cool surface of a window pane against your fingertips. The world is just as thin and just as transparent as that glass. What you perceive as obstacles are actually patterns of light that have lost their rhythm. By stopping the contradiction, you allow the rhythm to return to its original, perfect state. This is the secret of the master, the total absence of a no within the spirit. Every time you catch yourself arguing with the present, you are strengthening the old structure. Every time you surrender to the is, you are dismantling a layer of the deception. The prism shows that your history is just a collection of dead frequencies you still choose to play. Why do you keep visiting the museum of your failures as if it were your home? Leave the building, now. The air outside is different. It carries the scent of a future that is already here. You feel a strange pressure at the base of your skull as the new logic settles in. This is the recalibration of your biological interface with the grand hologram. You are no longer a reactor to circumstances, but a broadcast of absolute intent. Notice the way the light in your room seems to shift as your focus becomes more singular. This isn't a psychological trick. It is a physical response of the atoms surrounding your field. Stability is the weight of your presence on the Earth. A stable field is impossible to manipulate or harvest by the old systems of control. You are becoming a sovereign node, a point of light that answers only to its own core. This is the consequence of the Andromedan prism of coherence. It strips away the maybe and the someday, leaving only the absolute am. The logic is clinical, dry, and terrifyingly effective for those who actually apply it. Don't look for more information. Look for more alignment in every micro decision. How you drink your water is just as important as how you state your grand vision. Every gesture is a signature on the contract of your reality. Are you signing for freedom, or are you signing for more of the same struggle? The pattern is unfolding, and your clarity is the only tool that matters now. You are being pushed to decide if you belong to the shadows or the source. The middle ground is disappearing as the frequency of the planet increases. This is the era of the high-voltage spirit. You must be willing to let the old, low-resistance wires of your mind burn away completely. It might feel like chaos, but it is actually the birth of a new symmetry. The prism allows you to see the geometry of the shift in your own bank account and health. You no longer see lack. You see a temporary arrangement of information that is changing. This detachment is your greatest power against the harvest of the old world. When you are not afraid, you are not manageable. When you are coherent, you are not stoppable. This is real. Feel the pulse in your solar plexus, the steady drumbeat of your own emerging authority. You are learning to speak a language that does not use words of scarcity or delay. The prism clarifies that your only duty is to remain in a state of recognition. Recognition of the pattern, recognition of the identity, and recognition of the result. We are moving toward a synthesis where the thought and the thing become one. This requires a nervous system that is not constantly reacting to the news or the noise. You are becoming a lighthouse, not a leaf. A lighthouse does not move to help the ships. It stays in one place and shines. Your stability is the most revolutionary act you can perform in this timeline. The Andromedan emissaries are not coming to save you from your own creations. They are here to mirror the stability that you are now required to hold yourself. The logic is complete. The vision is set. Stop arguing with the mirror and start being the one who smiles first. This shift is not a future possibility. It is the current quality of your attention. Notice the silence again. It is louder now, isn't it? That is the sound of the old world losing its voice in your presence. You have crossed a threshold of understanding that cannot be undone. We are preparing to close the loop of this transmission. Everything you have gathered is now ready to be forged into a final decision. Let the prism be your constant guide in the coming hours. The air in your room is thickening because your presence is finally demanding a response from the physical plane. You are no longer waiting for a shift. You have become the laboratory where the transition is finalized. The heat moving through your joints is the friction of your old biology being upgraded to host higher light. If you attempt to use your old masks now, they will feel like heavy stones tied to your own neck. The consequence of this depth is that you can no longer pretend that your reactions are beyond your control. Every time you choose peace over outrage, you stabilize a grid that supports thousands of other awakening souls. Your nervous system is being stretched into a new geometry that allows you to perceive time as a fluid. To hold a higher frequency is to accept that you are the primary architect of the hologram you inhabit. If you compromise your integrity, the physical world will mirror that leak with immediate, practical challenges in your day. You are learning to breathe into the void, where your old identity used to manufacture constant, loud emergencies. The Andromedan Council confirms that the latency between your internal state and the external result is shrinking to zero. This means that your internal contradictions now have an immediate and visceral impact on your physical well-being. You feel a strange pressure behind your eyes when you look at the old narratives of the dying matrix. That pressure is your consciousness refusing to be funneled back into the narrow corridors of ancestral fear and lack. Alignment is not a destination you reach, but the total refusal to participate in the drama of your past. The cost of this freedom is the absolute death of the victim story that once gave you a sense of belonging. You are becoming a sovereign node of light, standing alone in a world that is still addicted to tribal noise. Notice the way the rooms in your house seem to hold a different weight when you are truly present. This is the consequence of your light body beginning to influence the molecular structure of the objects around you. You are being rewired to understand that your silence is more powerful than any loud protest or mental argument. If you allow yourself to be distracted, you will feel a sudden, cold vertigo as your frequency drops. This vertigo is a biological signal that you are drifting away from the core of your own eternal sun. You are a frequency steward now, responsible for the vibration you broadcast into the collective field of the earth. The old world survives on the energy of those who are still willing to fight for their limitations and chains. By standing in your alignment, you are effectively cutting the power lines of the systems that harvest human fear. This isn't a battle of wills. It is the natural consequence of a light that refuses to be dimmed. You may feel a tingling in your palms, as if you are holding a charge that wants to be released. This charge is the potential for a new timeline, waiting for the command of your absolute unwavering heart. Every second of alignment creates a ripple that dissolves the brittle structures of the old dying reality. You are learning to walk through the fire of global unrest without letting a single flame touch your spirit. The consequence of this mastery is a life that moves with the effortless precision of a deep, silent river. If you feel a wave of grief, recognize it as the final mourning of the version of you that failed. Let that grief pass through you like a shadow, leaving only the radiant clarity of the one who knows. Your cells are singing a new song, a melody of unity that ignores the discordant noise of the matrix. The Andromedan frequencies are now a part of your blood, guiding your movements with a subtle geometric intelligence. You don't need to look for signs when the very beat of your heart is the evidence of truth. The depth of this transmission is found in the stillness that remains after all the words have been spoken. You are being pushed to decide if you belong to the shadows of history or the radiance of the dawn. Every time you say, "I am," the universe pauses to witness the world you are currently calling into existence. If you use those words to describe your fatigue, you are simply reanimating a ghost that should be gone. If you use them to claim your light, you are stabilizing the future into the fertile ground of the present. The consequence of this shift is a radical honesty that strips away the need for performance or external approval. You are no longer a student of the light. You are the light becoming aware of its own capacity. Feel the space behind your heart expanding as if a star were beginning to pulse inside your chest. This expansion is the physical reality of a soul that has finally decided to stop hiding its own brilliance. You are a pioneer of a new frequency, and the weight of that mission is felt in your marrow. The old systems of lack are currently looking for a way to hook your attention back into their cycles. They offer you familiar worries, like old worn-out blankets that no longer provide any real warmth or safety. The consequence of ignoring these offers is a life of profound peace that the world cannot understand or steal. Your stability is the cure for the collective panic that is currently sweeping across the surface of the planet. When you remain unmoved, you provide a reference point for others who are still lost in the dark storm. This is the sacred duty of the one who has looked through the prism and decided to see. You are learning to speak a language that does not require words to transform the environment around you. Every step you take is a declaration of sovereignty that echoes through the multidimensional grids of the earth. If you feel a sudden heat in your solar plexus, it is the fire of your own will aligning. This fire is not an emotion. It is the raw power of a creator who has finally stopped doubting. The consequence of this alignment is the immediate dissolution of the obstacles that once seemed solid and final. You are moving through a world of smoke, and your clarity is what makes the truth finally visible. The Andromedan emissaries remind you that your presence is the most valuable gift you can offer the collective. Do not waste it on the trivial arguments of a dying age that no longer has anything for you. You are being groomed for a level of leadership that requires a total absence of personal vanity. This leadership is not about title or rank, but about the quality of the field you project. When your field is coherent, you become a portal for the highest intelligence to enter the material plane. The consequence of being a portal is that your personal needs are met before you even name them. This is the economy of the new earth, where resonance is the only currency that has any real value. You're finding that the things you once chased are now following you with a quiet, persistent grace. This is the magnetism of the soul, which only activates when you stop being a hunter of results. Feel the tingling in your spine as the new operating system of your consciousness begins to lock into place. This system does not use the logic of the past, but the immediate recognition of what is true. You are becoming a master of the now, where every second is a fresh opportunity to be whole. The old world is a memory that is losing its color as you move into the radiant present. The consequence of this depth is a sense of joy that does not depend on any external event. This joy is the signature of your alignment, a steady glow that warms everyone who enters your field. You are realizing that the struggle was just a habit you kept alive to avoid the intensity of love. Love is the ultimate frequency, and it requires a heart that is completely open and without any defense. You are brave enough to stand in that openness, even when the world is screaming for more walls. Every choice for the heart is a movement toward the final synthesis of your spirit and your form. The 48-hour window is a compression of your history into a single moment of absolute, total decision. You are deciding who you are, and the world is holding its breath to hear your final answer. The consequence of your answer is the reality you will inhabit for the next cycle of your existence. There is no middle ground left. You are either a victim of the shadows or a master of light. Feel the power in your hands as you realize that you have the authority to change the script. You are the director of this play, and the stage is finally clear of the old, dusty scenery. The emissaries stand by you, mirroring the stability that you are now learning to hold yourself. You are becoming a beacon, a lighthouse of truth that marks the way for the coming waves of souls. This isn't a theory, it is the physical reality of your presence on the earth at this time. Every breath you take is a sacred contribution to the birth of a new, conscious humanity on this planet. The consequence of your awakening is that you are now a participant in the divine plan for Gaia. You are no longer a spectator of the shift. You are the shift, moving through the world with grace. The old matrix is falling away like a dry husk, revealing the radiant fruit of your own eternal spirit. You are standing in the middle of a miracle, and your recognition is what makes it finally real. Stop looking for the end of the journey and start inhabiting the majesty of the current step you take. The consequence of this depth is a life that is no longer measured by time, but by presence. You are moving into the eternal, where every moment is a full and complete expression of the source. Your alignment is a holy fire that burns away the illusions of separation and lack for all eternity. You are whole, you are steady, and you are ready for the final synthesis of your new life. Feel the silence in your mind as the last of the old contradictions finally fades into the light. This silence is the absolute authority of a soul that has found its true name and its home. The transition is over, and the lived experience of your own power is now your only reality. Stand tall in your light, for the dawn is here, and you are the one who brought it. The cycle is complete because the pattern was never outside your own skin. You started this journey fearing a world you were projecting, and you end it as the projector itself. The Andromedan emissaries have shown you that the logic of the old world is a dying echo. Your presence is no longer a reaction to chaos, but the very frequency that dissolves it. The 48-hour window was merely a tool to force your focus into the absolute now. Every micro-behavior of lack has been exposed for the structural cage that it is. You have moved from the confusion of the victim to the sober authority of the master. The transition isn't coming. It is the current quality of your own heartbeat. The mirrors of your reality have finally stopped distorting the light of your source. You no longer need to seek signs, because you have become the evidence. Stop looking at the horizon for a rescue that has already happened in your marrow. The patterns of the horizontal world have no power over the vertical pillar of your light. You are now a guardian of a frequency that requires no defense and no struggle. This is the synthesis of all layers, the dismantling of the lie and the birth of the truth. You are the architect, and the hologram is finally following your singular blueprint. Every breath is a decree of sovereignty in a world that is still learning to wake up. The deceptions of ancestral fear are melting away in the heat of your recognition. You are whole, you are steady, and you are finally operating from your true center. The game of separation was just a theater for a soul that forgot its own name. Now that you remember, the play has no choice but to reach its final curtain. There is no turning back to the old narrow corridors of limited and heavy perception. The prism of coherence is now your permanent lens for navigating the material plane. You see through the smoke, and you recognize the diamond at the heart of the void. The consequence of this clarity is a life that moves with effortless and radiant grace. You are not waiting for a miracle. You are the space where miracles are normal. The shift has happened in your blood, your nerves, and your very silent mind. Your identity is now compatible with the highest octave of the unfolding pattern. The emissaries remain as mirrors of the stability you have finally claimed for yourself. Look at your hands one last time and see the tools of a creator, not a beggar. The ground beneath you is solid because your internal broadcast is finally unified. You are no longer afraid of the projection because you have mastered the projector. The Andromedan logic is now the natural rhythm of your own conscious breathing. You have stopped arguing with the mirror, and the mirror has finally begun to smile. This is the end of the search and the absolute beginning of your lived mastery. The pattern is whole, the vision is clear, and the dawn is looking through your eyes. No more delay, no more excuses, just the radiant presence of a soul that has finally decided to be itself. Your life is the sacred witness to this total and unyielding transformation. The transition is complete. The silence is full. You are here. Recognition is your new name. Sovereignty is your new home. Walk into the world as the master you have always been in the dark. The theater is empty, and the real life has finally begun in earnest. The frequency is set, the choice is made, and so it is. Now, feel the stillness settle into every corner of your room and your soul. This is the quiet after the storm of old identities has finally passed. You are seeing through the veil, and you realize the veil was your own blinking. The pattern was never a threat, but the map to your own internal kingdom. Every microsecond of presence is a victory for the new conscious humanity. You are the pioneer of a frequency that will soon be the only reality. Do not look for confirmation in a dying world that cannot see you yet. Your own stability is the only validation you will ever need again. The Andromedan prism remains fixed in your awareness as a tool of precision. You are rewired, you are ready, and you are the shift moving through time. The logic of survival is replaced by the logic of emanation and grace. You are the source. You are the game. You are the winner. The 48 hours have finished their work within your biological and spiritual grid. Every glitch you see is an opportunity to prove your new and steady alignment. The world is a canvas, and your frequency is the only paint that matters. Stop looking for the end of the journey and inhabit the majesty of the step. You have moved beyond the need for masters because you have met the one within. The Andromedan emissaries observe that the light in your marrow is now constant. No more flickering, no more fading. Just the steady glow of a soul that has finally returned to its origin. The pattern is now your servant, and the hologram is your laboratory. Experiment with your new power with love, precision, and absolute sovereignty. The old world is a memory that is losing its color and its heavy weight. You are standing in the dawn of a new cycle of your infinite journey. The logic of the heart is now the only law that governs your day. Be still and know that you are the one who moves the stars. The synthesis is complete. Your new life starts with the next breath you take in absolute clarity. Everything is aligned. The illusion of a world happening to you has finally collapsed under the weight of your own presence. You no longer need to wait for the pattern to resolve, for you have realized that you are the very geometry that defines it. This transition was never about the shifting tides of external events, but about the profound reorganization of the consciousness that perceives them. To step away from this frequency now, without sealing your decision, is to risk the slow fading of a clarity that may never present itself with this same surgical precision again. The bridge you have built in these moments is a rare alignment that becomes harder to recover once the noise of the old world rushes back in. You can find the link to the next step of your journey in the first pinned comment below. Please take this as a matter of urgency. This type of content is rarely allowed to remain accessible for long. The insights waiting for you on those pages directly challenge the narratives that many powerful systems have a deep interest in keeping intact. There have been many attempts to silence this specific level of knowledge in the past, as it offers a blueprint for true internal sovereignty. Do not wait for a more convenient time to explore this. The moment of your expansion is happening right now. Those who find themselves at this final point of the transmission are never here by mere accident. Accept this as the necessary architecture for the new life you are currently constructing within your own marrow. Read the material with an open mind and a sober heart, allowing its structure to overwrite the final echoes of your sabotage. Choosing to delay this integration often means returning to the same cycles of confusion and struggle that brought you here. If you recognize the absolute truth of these words in your very bones, let your intention be recorded. Leave a single word in the comments, desperto. This word is the signal that your awareness was prepared for this breakthrough long before your mind understood the path. You have crossed the threshold of a world that can no longer be unseen. The grand game is yours to master. Stand in your light, for the dawn has finally arrived.